So thanks everybody for joining. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. I've been waiting for this one because the background that behind me, and although it's showing backward or it's mirror image for me, there must be something weird with my phone, is actually an image that was made in Poland. And so I figured that out somehow, some way. And that means something to me, and Chicago in particular and Poland means something to me personally. We were talking before the recording about the longevity of 65 years of sister city relationships. I go back further. Um, my great grandfather, Adolf Brunke, left Poland in 1888.
Wow.
So that's how far I'm back. And he went to Chicago. And there is a special relationship between Chicago and Poland because I learned it through my genealogy that a lot of Polish people landed in Chicago. In my family, there were 8 brothers. My great grandfather Adolf was the 8th one in Chicago. He had married my great grandmother Paula Gertz Brunke in what I thought was Lauenburg. And I grew up for quite a while thinking, oh, my whole family's German. No, Lauenburg was the German name for the town of Leborg, Poland, which is in the
Yes.
Pomeranian northern part outside of Gdansk. So that's my personal heritage. And some of you know the other part of that story is 1888, my great grandfather came to Chicago and was apparently carousing with his brothers because he got married in Poland. He goes to Chicago, and my great grandmother's sitting in Poland waiting for him to say, hey, now it's time for you to come. He never asked her to come. He kept drinking with his brothers. And so she got on a boat with her sister and went to New York and sent him a postcard from New York. And all it said was, I'm in New York.
Amazing.
So all of the Brunkies ended up in Chicago and the Midwest. So every Brunkie, almost there's 200 or 300 of them, 2/3 of them or more are in the Midwest and Chicago. The New York strain is my family because of my great grandmother, Paula, who, by the way, died at age 99 because she was picking cherries and she fell out of a cherry tree, broke her hip. She might still be alive. 4'11". Some of you know that I'm a 6'4" guy, so I'm pretty tall. I don't know what I got from my great grandmother, Paula, except probably stubbornness and determination and whatever it took to do what was right, because the other part of that story is my great grandfather died after they had 5 children, and she raised the family along with my grandfather. So there's a lot of grit and determination in my background, and it's all Polish. And so I'm very proud to kick this program off to say, look, Poland is an amazing country with amazing people, and it's been through lots of ups and downs, including back in the 1880s, including all of the history, political and geopolitics and World War II. And now Poland is doing some amazing things, and we're going to be hearing about some of those today because our speakers are tapped into all of those great opportunities. So I'm, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Michael Stone. Michael is part of EM Wasylik. That could be Polish name too. I guess I don't know. But Michael, you know, being in Chicago, and you perhaps know through the connections with the firm EM Wasylik in Wisconsin that there is a lot of Polish to the region connectivity. So thank you for working with Dimitris to bring this program together, Warsaw, Chicago together, a first of many. And as we continue to grow around the world, including in Poland, I'm just honored and pleased that you're part of that, and all of our speakers here today are part of that too. Would you like to kick us off, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug. Happy to kick off until Dimitris joins us. Yes, I'm Michael Stone with EM Wasylik. Just a quick brief on who we are. We're a firm specializing in international market entry and expansion, and we handle both strategy and execution, supporting U.S. companies going abroad and non-U.S. companies entering the U.S. market. And we primarily work with small and mid-sized businesses across sectors, and I'm based in Chicago here, where we collaborate closely with trade commissions, including Michal's group. And we basically act as a boots on the ground resource, developing sales channels, representing brands locally, helping companies build their U.S. operations. And I'm excited about this this webinar because we're really active right now helping European firms entering the U.S. market. This week, for example, I'm in Houston representing a French software company at a broadband conference, and then two of my colleagues are actively supporting a Polish client in the industrial space. So glad to be here, happy to connect, always learn a lot from these sessions. And I guess just as a word on this, this webinar series with Country Focus, we're looking to really facilitate a bilateral dialogue, U.S.-Poland opportunities, both on the Polish trade into the U.S. side, and then also the Why Poland foreign direct investment into Poland side. So I'm excited about the two primary presenters that we have here. Just as kind of an overview of how we're structuring this, we have Michał Reznik from the Polish Trade and Investment Agency, and then we have Carolina and Tim from Paragone Global Consulting Group. And Michał is going to kick us off and say a few words about the U.S.-Poland relationship, the Trade and Investment Agency, and their key initiatives and programs, and then just the general outlook of opportunities in the U.S. for Polish companies, challenges, opportunities, etc. So I will let Michał kick it off from here and make his introduction.
Yeah, I'm good at it. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Michael. Team, Doug, thank you for having me, for the invitation, and it's always a pleasure to talk, to represent the country, represent Poland, and also to talk to the distinguished crowd about the relationship and opportunities between both countries. As mentioned, my name is Michał Rzeźnik, and I'm the head of the Chicago office for the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, and the agency froze. Yeah, I think I froze for a bit. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot
Yes,
see
we
the
can
sound.
hear you.
There we go.
Yeah, so I just launched the presentation that I have for today's meeting. So as mentioned, I represent the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, having the Chicago office. I've been in charge of the Chicago office for the past close to 7 years, and here at PAIH, and the PAIH, which is the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, Polska Agencja Inwestycji i Handlu in Polish, pretty much acts as the fulfills the role of the economic diplomacy of the Republic of Poland. So we represent Polish companies, we help Polish companies, and we kind of a bridge between the Poland and international markets on behalf of the Polish government. The organization, the agency, operates under the Ministry of Economic Development and Technology. So in terms of I'm going to provide you a little overview of the agency, of the institution, of who we are, what we do, how we help Polish companies, how we create this bridge between Poland and global markets. Obviously, I'm using the phrase global markets because the US is not the only market we do our business, where we do our business, but we also very active on other markets. For the purpose of this meeting, we're going to primarily focus on Chicago and the United States. So as mentioned, the agency fulfills the economic diplomacy, the role of the economic diplomacy of Poland, which is primarily helping Polish companies with international expansion, which is both the export and FDIs, and also we help foreign companies attract foreign capital and helping serving their needs if they are interested in entering Poland, in locating capital in Poland, in opening branches, factories, assembly lines for their businesses in our part of Europe. We also build relationships and partnerships across the globe on behalf of Polish institutions. So the promotion, the business development of Poland, of innovation of Poland, strengthening the recognition of Polish brands. So these are the tasks that we primarily take care of. On this slide, you can see the network of our close to 60 offices currently on 6 continents. So we are we have very heavy presence in the European Union, but also Southeast Asia, in the US, and in both Americas. We are present in US, Canada, Mexico, also Bogota, Colombia, Santiago de Chile, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I don't think it's marked on the map, but we also open an office in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So this network of offices primarily relies on local partners, or local managers of Polish roots that actually have in-depth understanding of the local markets, regulations, relationships, understanding of the business culture, and this is priceless for Polish companies actually looking to enter foreign markets, especially in economies that are not as famous as the American market, but let's say in South America or some of the African states, that the business culture might not be that obvious, or Asian countries. This is extremely helpful for Polish companies. Now on this slide, you can notice the 4 offices that currently represents the agency in the United States, with the Chicago office, New York, Houston, and Los Angeles. In terms of the numbers for 2024, we help approximately 650 Polish companies. Also, with their international expansion, about 100 American companies looking to establish relationships and business units, business branches in Poland. So we help establish those relationships via over 700 meetings with US companies and institutions. This resulted with approximately 65 expansion contracts, including 20 investment contracts concluded, for a total of 1.5 billion Polish zloty, which is approximately 380 million USD. That's the total contract value for all 4 offices. I mean, all these figures are actually for all 4 offices for the 2024. We also hosted or co-hosted about 150 events and provided over 2,600 services. So this is just to give you an idea of the figures of the scope of our assistance and the level of involvement that we offer. In terms of the numbers of the Polish Polish American trade, so you can, over the last 15 years, you can notice a gradual increase in the value of total trade between both countries. And with 2020 and as the beginning of pandemic, which was which we when we noticed like a slight drop, that was quite a unique year, especially the first few months, which were actually made up in the second part of 2020, to kind of balance the loss of trade from the first few months. We can notice that each year there's been a gradual increase in the total trade between both countries, and also which is also reflected in the export from Poland to the United States over the years, which amounted to 12.6 billion in 2024, according to UN Trade and database on international trade. So there has been a progress. I remember in a couple of years ago when I started, the 13-14 billion of total trade was the figure for total trade, and now this is just the value of the export. So we can see how progressively this relationship moves on, and the economic ties between both countries are stronger and stronger every single year. In terms of the Poland's export to the United States, in terms of different categories of products being exported, so we can notice machinery and equipment amounted to 4.05 billion USD, electronic equipment, optical equipment, also furniture. So these are like some of the main categories of goods exported to the United States. But also in the recent years, Polish government, over the last, I would say, decade, Polish government developed a list of strategic sectors key for the international expansion for export of Polish goods to the foreign markets, and this included machinery and equipment, food sector, furniture sector, also automotive components, I would say automotive and aviation components. And actually, automotive components is a very interesting field, because when you take a look at the relationship and the growth, there's been a double-digit in export from Poland to the US as well, especially if we're talking about the aftermarket. So right now, Poland is, I believe, about 8th or 9th as a country supplier of aftermarket automotive parts to the United States. So that's another category, but also boats and yachts, which are quite interesting, because after the US, we are the second economy producing, in terms of the number of vessels, with 25,000 vessels manufactured in 2024. Poland, after the US, is the second country in terms of boat and yachts manufacturing, and this primarily is due to the mid-size vessels. So that's quite interesting. Some of them are being exported to the US, a lot of them to the European Union and Middle East. Also, furniture, we are the number one furniture, because a factory after China, number one in Europe, but worldwide, in terms of worldwide numbers, we are actually number two after China. So in terms of total export of furniture, another category is is building and related equipment. So, for example, Polish doors and windows are incredibly in demand these days, and we can notice more and more of Polish, especially windows, being exported to the United States, and there's huge interest of that in the local market, especially here in Chicago. And I can see like more and more companies actually importing those products from Poland. So they are quite food sector, another one, very interesting category, and again very highly respected in Europe, but also in other countries where we export food products. So these are the main categories of where Poland is particularly strong in terms of different products, and a lot of them are obviously exported to the United States as well. Well, now if we take a look at the so how we do business, right? So I mean, it's critical in building the relationship, in building the presence, and building the brands for Polish markets, for Polish companies, to actually participate in the most significant trade shows in the US and worldwide, and do it on a regular basis. So on this slide, you can notice just some of the most important trade shows divided by industries that we participate. Usually, in most cases, we have our own booths at those major events. So for example, Miami Boat Show would be one of them. For Lauderdale, for the boating industry, Detroit Auto Show on January this year, where we exhibit with several Polish companies. The upcoming November Automotive Aftermarket Products Expo Apex in Vegas. So that's another one where we plan to have Polish presence with Polish aftermarket mentioned area aftermarket products. Also, High Point Market Show for the furniture industry, held every April in October in North Carolina. Moving forward, Natural Products Expo, National Restaurant Association Show, the largest restaurant show in the US, held for over 100 years in Chicago. This year we had 8 Polish companies representing. I'm actually a person who was responsible for the Polish pavilion at this one. So we had Polish caviar, we had a snail caviar from Poland. We had Polish honey, Polish spirit products, and Polish food tech companies. So there was a very successful event with a lot of traffic generated at the Polish pavilion. And of course, Summer Fancy Food that I believe begins this Sunday in New York City. There will be also a Polish pavilion there. So other products, other trade shows include Bio International Convention, also held this month in Boston. Consumer Electronics Show, CES in CES in January this year in Vegas. GDC Conference, Space Tech Expo in June. The International Builders Show that will be held in Vegas in February. Also Select USA, the largest investment summit throughout the year in the United States, held in May in Washington, D.C. We also had a couple of Polish companies interested in locating their capital here in the US. So this is the event that's primarily dedicated to foreign investors, foreign companies looking to open branches, open manufacturing facilities in the United States. And I truly like this event because it generates a unique chance for foreign companies to actually meet with all the 50 states or the EDOs of every single state and US territories as well. Very successful event, very well organized event in Washington, DC. And the last category, cosmetics, with Cosmo Proof of America and New York Fashion Week. That we are usually present as well. Obviously, all these events are not organized by one office. They are organized by one or two of our US offices. Whether it really depends on the geographic location. But if not Chicago, they are organized by New York, Houston, or Los Angeles. Now, on this slide, you can notice some of the partners that we developed a relationship with over the years. So a lot of EDOs, the Illinois Department of Commerce, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, Michigan, the state of Michigan, North Carolina, Florida, Rhode Island, New York, Puerto Rico, as well as some of the regional chambers of commerce, like the Chicago Chamber of Commerce, the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, Polish American Chamber of Commerce in Chicago, Polish American Chamber of Commerce in Texas, International Trade Association of Greater Chicago, and obviously the Chicago Sister Cities International that is our great partner, especially this year for the 65th anniversary of the Warsaw Chicago relationship. So with that being said, thank you so much for your time and attention. And should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Hey, Doug, as well as this is Pankaj. I'm from Carolina. So we are a VC. Is there any opportunity for FDI, foreign direct investment? So we can help in Poland as well as in US. I'm a US citizen. So we are a proud member of Global Chamber. So we can help funding only FDI. So we will share you my contact details. And then I'm in Carolina, North Carolina. We are based in East Coast. So, and my contact details is there.
Thank you. And thank you, Michal. And just as a quick note, I attended the Polish Pavilion event last year at the National Restaurant Association show, and it was fantastic food, beverages, etc., and some really great suppliers there. So highly recommend if anyone is able to make it to the next one or any of the events.
This year was even better. We had more companies and more and it was even. I was very pleased with last year, as you mentioned. It was great, and I doubted we could actually beat last year numbers, but we did this year. It was even more successful. So it's a great show. I'm glad you had a chance to visit us.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're gonna hold questions till the very end. I think if Dimitris is here and wants to take it from here.
Michael, feel free. You're doing such a great job. Keep going. You could just introduce our next speaker. Wonderful hearing all about everything that's happening. I have a little presentation. I'll go at the end. So Michael, take it away.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. So our next speakers are going to be Carolina and Tim from Paragone Global Consulting Group, and their focus is going to be more on the foreign direct investment and why Poland side versus the Polish trade to the US side. So we're excited to get their perspective, and I'll let you guys take it from here.
Hello, Karolina Zatorska here. I'm a co-founder of Paragone Global with my business partner, Tim, who's going to speak after me. Actually, we do both. We do attract investments into Poland, but also we're helping companies here in the Southwest, because I know Michał is my former colleague from Polish Investment and Trade Agency, so I know what a fantastic work he's doing in the Midwest. Me and Tim, we are based out of Los Angeles and out of Phoenix, Arizona. So we're helping companies that want to launch in California or Arizona, be it a product or be it a technology, be it a service. Definitely we can be their boots on the ground. Thank you guys that you mentioned the food, because we just signed one of the biggest food manufacturer from Poland to be providing to the West Coast. Polish food is amazing. I have to say, Polish food is largely organic. And I think it's the revival of Polish products that is on the horizon. That is why we're here. And last year, I met Tim last year at California Investment Forum when we decided to start Paragone Global, which is a consulting company which is joining both the West Coast and Poland. We've just came back recently from Warsaw when the people, the Americans that we brought there were amazed, which how wonderful it is. And the one-liner that I was hearing all the time was, oh my God, Poland is such a hidden gem in Europe. I don't know why it is still hidden, but definitely it is a gem. 25 years a member of a European Union, a member of NATO, which makes it a very stable and credible business partner. Definitely worth looking into the region. Many people would disagree with me, but I still think it's an advantage for Poland that it's not part of the Eurozone. Poland still holds its own currency, just like some other countries of European Union, which gives you the advantage because it slashes the cost of production roughly by 60, 70%. So if you import from that, if you buy the technology, if you outsource like IT services, it really gives you advantage and is very, it gives you advantage price-wise. Definitely Polish companies that would like to enter here to California, because California is still a great center for global technologies, innovations. It gives you scale immediately. Still, we have a lot of Polish IT companies, Polish gaming companies that we are helping. Here in Los Angeles holds one of the biggest gaming show, which is E3. That's where one of the Polish gaming powerhouses like CD Projekt or Techland usually show up, or a lot of smaller ones. And so definitely we are boots on the ground. Anybody who would like to, any Polish company that would like to have presence here in California or in Arizona, we can be their boots on the ground. When it comes to Poland, that we have amazing opportunities for American companies to invest in Poland. We have a fabulous portfolio of hotels. We have fabulous opportunities to invest in Polish startups, for instance, from biotechnology or from AI sector. Definitely this mutual cooperation would be very, very beneficial. Tim, please help me. Please join me and tell me what your impressions are from Poland, because me as a Polish American, I can be biased, but you as an American who visited Poland recently can say something more.
First, thank you, Carolina, who's a fantastic business partner. She's one of the most intelligent people I've ever been around. And thanks to Doug for always putting these together. I've known Doug for almost 13 years now, and he continues to raise the bar. Relative to Poland, Carolina and I got to go in March, and we're going to be heading back probably next month. The country is amazing, and if you had told me a year ago to find it on a map, I couldn't have done it. But you go, and it's situated in such an amazing geography. I know with Ukraine and those things are happening, but it's so close to Germany. Nimshi, I'm learning Polish, by the way, which is not great, but I haven't insulted anybody yet. But being there, we went to 4 cities during their stay, and the innovation that's on the ground in Poland is unmatched. The manufacturing, the diversity of industry, and the people are fantastic. I would point to everyone to go look at an article. It's called The Remarkable Rise of Poland. It was in The Economist in May 25th. And it talks about how Poland is the 6th largest economy in the EU. Its purchasing power parity, GDP per capita is going to surpass Japan, which is the third largest economy in the world. There's so much opportunity there, and it's abundant. And Carolina, what she's been able to do there, and she, of course, she mentioned she had a similar role in Los Angeles, and trying to open up California to Poland. And Poland and much of Eastern Europe doesn't really know anything about the West Coast. As Doug alluded to, it's largely an East Coast, Midwest connection, but the West Coast is huge. And what we're trying to do is bring Poland, California, Arizona, Texas into this this new cooperation. And we're doing quite well with Arizona and doing quite well with California. But again, I would lead you to this remarkable rise of Poland. This article, it's fantastic. It's a military power, it's a economic power, and it's only getting better. Carolina, anything what did I miss?
Last month when we were in Poland, I mean, there are signs really when you can feel some wind of changes moving into Central Eastern Europe. We were at an event which was a forum for Central Eastern Europe in the middle of Warsaw, and the main guest was the president of Bank of Japan, together with like 10 managers. And president of Bank of Japan officially announced that instead of opening their official office in Berlin, they decided to open the office in Warsaw because the growth in Europe is moving east. And you can definitely see it. You can see French companies. I've never seen a French company French people opening a company in Poland. I know people from California that already moved to Poland, and they're very happy doing operations over there. We visited the US Embassy in Warsaw, where the trade commissioner from there told us also that what is very expected after the ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine are the contracts for rebuilding Ukraine. And what the US Embassy in Warsaw is expecting, the value of these contracts are supposed to reach like $trillions. Definitely, we have a lot of inquiries from American companies from here, from West Coast. They are interested in providing, services, providing products for rebuilding Ukraine, which a lot of these processes going to have to go through Poland, because Poland and Romania are two biggest countries that border Ukraine from the European side. That is why the only way to go rebuild Ukraine is through Poland. Also because Poland offers such a kind of safety measures for doing business operations. Definitely. I hope that Poland is gonna be that much of a hidden gem, and more people like Tim are gonna visit, maybe learn a little Polish. That is not the easiest language. But also, if you are interested, please let us know, contact us. We can offer a full guidance for basically a lot of industries, and we can offer you a lot of really insights into the market.
So I'd add to that, Carolina, that one of the things that I found fascinating, having spent a lot of time in the energy space, was that on the ground in Poland and really across Europe, there is a huge demand, but also a great supply of sustainable technology, biogas and such. And I'll let Carolina talk about it a little bit more. But what we know is that biogas technology in Germany, there's 11,000 of these biogas plants. It turns into renewable natural gas and so forth, but it's old technology. What we found though in the US is that it doesn't exist. There's only 385 operating biogas plants. And we, despite the fact that we have a lot of oil and gas under our feet, we still need to advance other energy solutions. So there's a huge demand here, and we're working on trying to bridge that gap. Carolina, you can finish me off on that.
Yes, definitely. Generally, Poland is really good with waste to energy management. You have to say that. And one of our clients from Poland developed one of the most state-of-the-art and most advanced technology when he takes organic waste and makes it into energy, biogas, biomethane. That a lot of Western countries wanted to even buy out this technology. He didn't sell. He has a potential for opening 1,500 biogas plants in Poland and about 4,000 in California. We already are speaking with investors. If anybody would be interested in this sector, this is one of them. We have a blessing of the Office of the Governor of California. That is why this is a huge opportunity in waste to energy that US really needs, because we are a little behind Europe, like Tim said, here in this sector. Definitely great opportunities, and for sure we can guide you into whatever Poland would be interested in, West Coast and West Coast looking into Central Eastern Europe, which Poland is the leader of.
Just to close out, Caroline is an expert at doing this. If there's a contingent of individuals from Global Chamber that want to visit Poland, Caroline has done that her entire career. She's brilliant at it. She can put you on the ground and have key connections everywhere, including pierogies and kotlets, as I'm learning. But she's great at that. So reach out to us if we can help on the ground in Poland.
And maybe one last takeout that I've heard from the president of the Bank of Japan, who was in Warsaw. $1 invested into Central Eastern Europe gives you the return of 4. That is why probably so many Western countries are right now interested to invest into this region. Thank you.
Thank you both. Really great insights and sector-specific opportunities. Learned a lot there. Thank you. I think we can take a few minutes now to just open it up to general questions for both presenters.
Hey, Michael, Caroline, and I think Tim on Poland. We are in Carolina in East Coast. We are a VC. So anyone in this meeting or any of your network, all this sector you mentioned, we are already working around the world for funding. We can do only for FDI, foreign direct investment. And we have $1 trillion investor. Most of them are in New York and all over the world. So we can help only funding. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you. Thank you. We can talk about any opportunities that we would have.
So I have a question. So if you're a Polish company thinking about expanding to the US, what's the one piece of advice that you'd give them to help get it right or avoid common mistakes? And I think this would be a great to get input from both speakers on this.
Maybe I can say I have boots on the ground. Have boots on the ground, have somebody representing you here, because I know a lot of young people, they love coming here. I see a ton of young startups or technology innovation companies that come here every quarter and try to do the work themselves, like raise capital, pitching. But, I always advise them a year or 2, have somebody running here every day for you. It's going to give you a tremendous advantage. Boots on the ground, that's for sure.
Yeah, if I may just add my 2 cents on this, I couldn't agree more with Carolina. It's like a lot of companies, not only Polish, but I would say especially small and medium or startups from all over the world. They try to actually enter the US market, or they attempt to enter the US market, but with I would say the minimum cost, right? And it's not really so. As Carolina mentioned, they are trying to do the work on their own, and it doesn't work this way. In order to actually make it in the US market, which is a competitive market, which is a demanding market, And also it is a pretty saturated economy where actually a lot of companies are already or the market is pretty much divided and set up in a certain way. So in order to actually jump in and cut your little piece of the market, you need to do the homework. You need to do the groundwork. So you need to have someone on the ground, as Carolina mentioned, running the business on a daily basis. But also that's how we build our brand. That's how we build that we are a trustworthy partner on this market by presence, by showing up on a variety of trade shows or industry events on a regular basis, by having a company registered, right? Not only like the Polish entity, but also, let's say, a subsidiary in the US. So like all of this and this is not like that pricey, like to actually like register a company and open a branch. This is something that can be done at a relatively low cost. But like all of these tell our potential clients, our partners, that actually we are serious about this market. So we know what we are looking for, what we want, and we're taking all the steps and investing time and resources to actually because we are serious about this market. At the end of the day, this is a 330 million of consumers and still relatively strong middle class, which provides a great market for foreign entities. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Michal. I guess I have a follow-up question to that. What is something that that your agency Pike offers that more companies should be taking advantage of, but maybe don't know that it's available?
I would say one of the services that we provide is B2B meetings or like trade missions, like assembly or organization of like trade missions. So basically we put together like a group of companies if they are. So Carolina mentioned like trade missions from the US to Poland, which is great and which is like critical. And those are also organized by individual states on occasional basis, but they usually visit a couple of countries within the European Union. Let's say if there's a trade mission organized by, let's take state of Indiana, they visit like Germany, France, and they're gonna visit Poland or Czech Republic or one more country, and then just trying to make the most of the trip, I guess, which makes perfect sense. But also we are organizing trade missions the other way. So from Poland for Polish companies to the US, let's say for a given trade shows or for a given trade show or a couple of trade shows, or they are trying to visit, let's say, a couple of places like Chicago, New York, Houston, or LA, and then we cooperate with different offices and local partners, local chambers of commerce, local states. Well, I would say local authorities, not only state authorities, but also the city authority, county authority, if that's possible, and basically just organizing the entire program for those companies. Usually they are interested for a given. Usually those are organized around a given event, like a trade show or something like this. But I would say this type of initiative is something that a lot of companies take advantage of, and also there are B2B meetings with businesses, but also institutions as part of the program. A lot of Polish companies take advantage of the fact that when we organize a trade show, the Polish Pavilion at a trade show, we usually finance that. So we pay for the space, we pay for the build-up, and these are usually the most expensive parts of any given trade show, and companies tend to like it, and they just take care of the airfare, of the accommodation, and some of the out-of-pocket expenses, like locally, but like the most significant costs, which is the organization of an actual booth or pavilion, are usually financed by us.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michal. I think it'd be great to stay connected and continue these discussions that, offline as we all get connected. But from here, I think I'll pass it to our Chicago board chair, Demetrius Evans.
This has been so amazing. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for coming up with the idea. I just want to, my grandmother would say, give people their flowers while they can still smell them. So I want to say that, Michael pushed for us to do this segment, and we will be doing at least 3 others where we're looking at how do you actually get into the Chicago market from other parts of the world. And I think that the presentations here today have been very informative. I echo what Michael said, that we have to keep, just because we are finished with this webinar, everyone's put their information into the chat. So please connect with each other. And then as other people who couldn't join today, Jim will make sure that she is making those connections. So I did have just a couple of slides I'm going to share to kind of close this out and kind of what I've heard. So the U.S.-Poland trade relationship is not a very new one. It's an old established relationship, and we have a large Polish diaspora community in Chicago, as well as, in other parts of the world. When Michael first suggested Poland, when I first moved to Chicago, there was a receptionist in our building, and she was Polish. And so she would bring pierogies. And so she would bring me enough to take home for my family. So when you talk Polish, when I hear Poland, I'm thinking food, okay? And we have some fantastic Polish restaurants in the Chicagoland area. But the bilateral trade has continued to increase. I know that Mr. Risnick talked about this with investment flowing in both directions, which is what we want to establish here and be connectors for. And this future expansion in technology and energy is energy is one of the 17 goals for the United Nations, right? When we're talking about sustainability and making sure that our world is still here for the next generation and not so heated up that we can't go outside at all, this is what we're talking about. So this biogas technology and bringing the plants here, already developed in Poland, ready to go. I say, let's pass this on, Michael. I feel like we need to do like a white paper and make sure people really know about this, because it's crucial to sustainability for our world. So thank you so much for discussing that. So when we talk about entering the market, so I am an attorney. I started a business law firm, the Evans International Law Firms, about 16 years ago. And so when we're talking, if you're not already doing business here from wherever, you have to do some market research. And that's where Michael Stone is going to come in. But identifying the sector specific opportunities and understanding local competitive landscapes. And then, I talked about the food. I did learn a word I'm going to show you all at the end, how great my pronunciation is. But adapting your business practices to Polish business culture and consumer preferences is going to be important. And then working with the Foreign Trade Office for the Polish Investment and Trade Agency in order to understand the frameworks. And so legally, if you have any issues as you're, deciding if you, come in and either set up a totally different company or a subsidiary, or if you join with someone else, like hire a manufacturing company here, or however you would like to do that legally, I would be able to assist you. My team of 12 would be able to assist you in your contracts, your intellectual property, and any compliance issues that you may have. So development, this is Chicago. We're a big city, but we operate like little cliquish, right? So developing relationships with local distributors and suppliers, or having joint ventures. I know Carolina said, like, boots on the ground, right? You're talking, you're going out to dinner, we don't maybe have so much of this is how we do business. You have to, get to know everyone, but food is a great way to connect. So, that's, I was thinking, wow, I get to go to Poland. So, we're going to take you up on that, going over to Poland and looking at what is the investment climate in it, but when you're coming to Chicago, it's going to be important to really get involved with the Global Chamber and other organizations. We have a community so that you can partner. So choosing the optimal market strategy, and then navigating the complex federal and state regulations is, a pretty big deal. Understanding regional differences across the U.S. market and adapting to marketing and sales approaches for American consumers. But being in the Midwest, we're going to offer a strong Polish-American community connection, lower operational costs rather than coastal cities, and access to major transportation networks and a diverse industry and supply chain. So thank you to the panelists. We talked about growth in the industry and the support services, the common obstacles and the real cultural issues that happen here, and sustainable approaches for Polish businesses in the Midwest and for the world. Okay, here's my time has arrived. I want to say thank you, and please tell me if I get it wrong. Dziękuję bardzo. Is that close?
Dziękujemy bardzo.
Yeah, Dziękuję.
Very, it was good.
It close?
Dziękujemy
Okay.
bardzo.
Okay, so to our speakers, all of our participants, whether or not you're expanding into Poland or entering the US market, today's insights provided a foundation for your cross-border success. Again, please connect LinkedIn. Everyone, we usually leave the room open. Doug may say a couple of words here, but if not, please make sure your information is in there and stay connected to these experts and utilize all the resources that they have on their web pages so that you can do global business with confidence. Thank you for joining the Global Chamber. Be unstoppable and be global. I'll give it over to you, Doug, or Jim, if you want to close us out.
Yeah, so I think Doug already left because he's driving. So thank you everyone. Thank you to the speaker for joining us today. So please watch out for the recording. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Great job, Michael.
Thanks, Demetrius. Thanks for your kind words.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here, Lothar. Appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Risnick.
Thank you, Demetrius. Thank you. It was great to meet you all. Thank you for having me.
Very informative. Bye-bye.